This is Cooking Matters number 4, making smart drink choices. Today's speaker, I would like to introduce to you Martina Curry. She is the Chief of Student Health and Wellness. At this time, I will stop presenting my screen and I will turn it over to our presenter, Ms. Curry. Thank you for joining.
Good morning, everybody. I hope that everybody's doing so good today. Like they said, we're going to be sharing about how to reduce calories, especially when we have some drinks. And then, Marcia, I'm ready when you are. I'm going to be working with Marcia K, which is going to help me to present the slides. And like the lesson for today is making smart drink choices. Okay, next. One thing that we have to keep in mind is how much sugar we need every day or how much sugar we put every day. And sometimes when we think about sugar, we just think about plain sugar, but we forgot that it's all the food that have sugar, and then it's going to be adding to our amount of calories that we eat every day. And today we're going to learn on how to balance that amount of sugar that we get every day. Some drinks that have a lot of sugar is like the soda, lemonade, sweet tea, sport drinks, energy drinks, fruit drinks, any other beverage, and especially depending our ethnicity. Some of them maybe you don't see it in there, like fresh waters and things like that, which is sugar added to. Okay. All of them look very delicious, and the colder that they are, the more delicious and more refreshing that we feel when we drink it. But one thing that we have to keep in mind is that it's important to read the label. And to give you an example in here of the many drinks that many people drink daily, uh, here is the Coke. And if you look at the amount of calories, it said that that whole bottle have 240 calories. But then the amount of sugar would be 65 grams. And I'm going to give you the math formula for you to find out how much sugar is in each food that we eat. Am I saying that you're going to go and start measuring? No, because we're going to go crazy. But then how to reduce without going crazy, because I like to drink pop like many other people, but then I keep in mind how much I need to drink per day if I decide to do it like that. 20 ounces of cola. Ooh, 65 grams of sugar. How much will be that? Okay, let's see how much it tells us that it is. It said that those 64 grams of sugar is equal to 16 spoons and 1/4 of sugar. Can we taste it? No, because the colder that it is, the less sugar that you feel. And remember, the sugar is bubbly. And when it's very bubbly, you don't feel that. It feels like seltzer water. But if you open that pop and let it sit and let that all the bubbly part go out, you will feel how sweet it is. That's why we don't see it. That is that amount of sugar in there. Please, if you have any question, let me know. Put it in the chat. Diane will let me know if you have any concern. Okay. Then 32 ounces of a fountain drink, which is depend where store you go. If you go to Wendy's, sometimes you set a medium and a medium is real big. Sometimes you go and set a large and the large is bigger. But we see 32 ounces now. We what see is how delicious and how sweet and how refreshing is going to be that drink that I'm going to have. Let's see how much sugar is in there. Wow. Do we think that is 23.5 teaspoon of sugar in there? Mm-mm. We just drink it. They put a lot of ice. It's very cold. We drink it and how we feel very relaxed, very refreshing. But then we have to be very careful when we go out. Am I saying don't drink it? I'm not saying that, because from time to time I like to drink. I was on vacation recently and I went to visit my family, and I was drinking pop, not that much, but pop that I could not find in here. And then I knew that once that I came back over here, I needed to go back to my routine to reduce this, because this is too much sugar that we put in our body. To some people, it's going to be gaining weight. To some other people, they are not going to gain weight, but the cholesterol is going to go high. It depends how is each person. 22 ounces, two different brand of pop. And sometimes we think that the darker that is the pop, the more sugar that is in there. Not necessarily, okay? Because each flavor is different. In here is giving you a fruit flavor soft drink that it have 18 teaspoons of sugar in a 20 ounces, okay? And usually, do we get a cup and we drink only half a cup of that pop? No, we usually drink the whole container at one time. And the other one is a citrus soft drink, which is have 19 and 1/4 of a teaspoon of sugar. Both of them are 24 ounces. You see, but one have more than the other. That's why it's important for us to look at the label and to have an idea how much sugar is in there. How can you and your family make a smart drink choices? How we can reduce the amount of sugar that we have every day? One suggestion is to drink diet soft drinks, but keep in mind too that this is a good suggestion, but it has a lot of caffeine in there. Keep in mind that sometimes some people can get sick because of the ingredients that they use. And at one point, I'm going to give you another idea that you can reduce the amount of sugar that we eat and drink every day. How can you and your family make smart drink choices? Okay. And again, I'm not saying stop drinking pop, but how we can balance. For me, would be how I can balance between one and the other. Choose soft drinks every once in a while and drink in a small portion. I don't know how many of you have been in the store. Now they give you a small cans of pop, but that doesn't mean that if I'm, because they're smaller, I'm going to be drinking the whole six pack the whole day. Then it's no purpose in that. Okay. It's like, keep in mind it's smaller. And if you're gonna drink that one and don't drink no more for the rest of the day. And that's what we have to keep in mind. That's the choices that they are giving us when they give us that type of can we can find in many brands at the store. How can we decrease the amount of sugar? Well, sometimes people say, well, I'm not going to be using sugar. I'm going to be using stevia. I'm going to be using honey. I'm going to be using other type of sugar. But one thing that you have to keep in mind, sugar is sugar. It doesn't matter what type of sugar you use. It's going to do the same things to our body, the same damage. Again, we have to balance, because sometimes people say, no, I don't use white sugar. I use coconut sugar, because I don't know how many of you are familiar with coconut sugar now. It comes from the coconut, but sugar is sugar. It's going to have the same amount of calories. It's going to have the same thing. Oh, I don't use the table sugar. I'm going to use honey. It will be another type of sweetener, which is too much. Is going to do the same damage to our body. And like sometimes if you're gonna drink coffee, sometimes people use the creamer. It comes creamer with flavor, and it comes creamers plain. Remember, all those creamer comes with sugar too, and that's another type of sugar that we're gonna be adding to our body. Is tea that comes with no sugar, and we're going to be adding the amount of sugar that we want. All the products come already with the sugar, okay? But then just be careful. In one example that I could give you with the coffee, sometimes people prefer to use honey because they say it's more healthy, and it's but when you use the honey with something that is hot, it have a reaction that you add the honey, you stir that, you taste it, and you say, it's not sweet enough. Let me add a little bit more. And you add a little bit more, and you taste it again, and it's not that sweet. And you add more. But if you know people that like to drink use honey, tell them to put the amount of honey that they like, and to let the coffee or the tea to cool down completely, and tell them to taste it. And they're going to realize that they put too much honey, because when you use honey in something hot, you don't feel how sweet it is right away. It's when it's cooled down. Any question? Okay. How can you and your family make smart choices? And sometimes we say, well, if I like pop, my children like pop. And remember, our family learned to drink pop because that's something that we learn. Many of us learn from our parents and so forth and so forth. And we teach them to do that. Okay. We offer that. But sometimes we say we don't want them to be drinking pop. And we say, well, I'm going to have the pop, but you're going to have water. That's a no, no, because how come I'm going to be drinking pop and put the temptation in front of them and tell them not to drink pop? I used to have pop in my house. I used to have all the type of sweet drinks in the house, but I noticed that how come I'm going to have it and tell them not to do it? I had to stop having those type of drinks here in my house. I go outside and drink them. I don't bring it to my house because I noticed that it was wrong for me to tell them not to do it when I was doing it. And you know that you have to put that pop in the freezer to get cold. And they were asking me, but Nana, why you have that in there when you telling me not to do it? And then I had to say, okay, I have to change. And I was from time to time I drink my coffee, my sweet coffee or my pop outside, but I don't bring it in the house because of that. I have to be an example to them. And that's how I am example. Don't bring in those things in here. That's why then I teach them to choose healthy beverage. We use low fat milk, low fat products that have very low fat sugar in it. But keeping in mind, always reading the label, how much is recommended to have. This is another way that you can keep in mind when we choose healthy choices, like the is an example like the milk is going to be good for your bone, your muscles, your teeth, and your nerves. Okay, because even though the milk is not pop, but it have natural sugar in there. And that's what we have to keep in mind, that many products that we drink, it have natural sugar in there. And that's how we can when we reduce the fat, when we have the fat free milk, we reducing the amount of sugar. Looking in here at the labels, if you see, we have one that is whole milk and we have one that is skim milk. And if you look at the amount of sugar, both of them have the same amount of sugar, which is 12 grams of sugar. But the difference between the whole milk and the skim milk is the amount of fat that is in there and the amount of calories that it would be in there. But keep in mind that even though that I'm saying skim milk is a better choice, if you have children that are less than 2 years old, they need to have between 1 and 2, they need to have the whole milk. Okay, and then after 2 they usually change it to a skim milk, but just follow the guidelines that the pediatrician recommend to all of you. How much milk we should give to our family. And one thing, we cannot think about milk like water, because too much calcium is our body is not good. Calcium is something that we storage in our body up to the age of 35. That's why they give us an amount of milk or dairy products that we should have. Children between 1 and 2, they recommend 2 cups of milk per day of 8 ounces each cup. Children 2 to 8, 2 cups per day of fat or low fat milk. Children 9 years old and older, 3 cups per day. And even us as an adult, we need to maintain the intake of milk. I know that sometimes we have problem with milk. We cannot drink milk, but it's other alternative in there, such as soy milk, almond milk, that it will give us the what we need regarding the amount of calcium that we need every day. And if we're going to have cheese or other type, like it said, what is the equivalent of the milk? 1 cup is 1 serving. 8 ounces of low fat or fat free yogurt. 8 ounces of low fat or fat free frozen yogurt. 1.5 ounces of low fat cheese. And look at what it said with the yogurt. It said low fat or fat free. It do not say with fruits, because remember, many times when we buy the yogurt that comes already with the fruit, they add sugar in there. Besides the milk having sugar, they add to that fruit, they add sugar. What if you're gonna have the low fat yogurt, what you can do is just add fresh fruit to the yogurt, and that would be another way of you cutting the amount of calories that you have per day. Quick and easy ways to get more calcium: drinking milk with your milk, put milk on your cereal, add milk to hot beverage, take yogurt to go, enjoy frozen yogurt, make yogurt smoothie, make soup with low fat or fat free milk, use dry powdered milk in cooking. And we can do all the things in there. And I'm not saying, and instead of drinking pop with the milk, then add what cup of milk in there. And sometimes you can add the milk to the cereal. And sometimes people say, but it don't have them that much flavor. But then you can add some fruit. You can add some banana. You can add some strawberries, some cherries. I mean, you can create your own taste based on what you want. What if you don't drink milk or eat yogurt or cheese? Lactose intolerance, allergy to dairy products, dislike for dairy products, ethical or religious reason. And sometimes we keep that in mind, but it's still at the end of the day, we need to find ways to get that calcium. And here's giving you an idea, a list of all the type of food that you can find that calcium that I can mention it to you. Like when you eat, when you have rice or soy milk, fortified orange juice. And I'm not saying that you're going to be drinking the whole container of orange juice. It's just adding to your diet. Calcium fortified cereal, canned salmon. When you eat the canned salmon or the sardine with the bones, but we said with the bones, yes, you can, because they are cooked and they dissolve. You don't feel it, okay? You dissolve and you're not going to choke on that. Almonds, broccoli, green leafy vegetables like collard, kale, and bok choy, tofu. Look at all those things. And if you make your diet and you include from all of them, you should have the amount of calcium that you need per day. How you can and your family make smart choices. Choose water. The colder that the water is, the more tasty that it is. Sometimes if you get a bottle of warm water, you put it to the side. But if you put that water in the freezer, oh my goodness, you drink that water with no problem. And sometimes we say, but our children don't like to drink milk, water. I'm sorry. Have something, okay, a decorative bottle, and that will call to their attention when you pour the water in there. Remember, water is important because it's going to control your temperature. It's going to carry the nutrients to all your body, aids in the breathing, protect your organ, and protect your joint. Remember, our body is made more of water than anything else. We need the water. How do we know if we're drinking enough water? If anybody want to share that with me, how do you know if you're drinking enough water? Because it said that we need from 6 to 8 glasses per day of water. Can you put it in the chat? You can turn your mic on and give me some ideas. I know when we go to the bathroom and we urinate, if we urinate and it's very yellow, 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 it's telling us that our kidneys are working very hard. But when we go to the bathroom and it's clear, that means that we're drinking enough water. I know that the milk have water, I know that the juices have water, but we need to drink just plain water, especially when we do a physical activity or when the weather is very warm. How can you and your family make smart drink choices? Add lemon. Yes, you can add lemon. You can add lemon juice, and I'm gonna give you mint. Perfect. Perfect. And it's gonna give those flavors. And I don't know how many of you are aware that in some companies that they sell you flavored water, and I tried them because in order for me to have an idea how they taste, I need to try those products. And some of them I said, "Oh my God, I pay $1 for this bottle or $2 for this bottle. I could make it better at home." And I'm gonna show you at the end. Diane, can you share the last chat? I couldn't see it. I don't know what it was in there.
It says, what about Propel?
Yes, that's no name, no name. We can save a lot of money doing that. And somebody put cucumber. Yes, you can add cucumber. You can mix the cucumber with the mint. You can add apple. Very good choices. Very good choices. And then keep water handy. I make sure that I have cold water in the refrigerator. Drink water before, during physical activity. You don't have to sweat to say I'm losing water. No, maintain that because you want to maintain that temperature of your body. Right. Encourage children to drink water, like some of you said, cucumber water, lemon water, and those the thing, because sometimes we drink the plain water, it need a little bit of flavor, and I like to add lemon to my water, or the water at a restaurant, and that's one thing that I do. I ask for ice water and some lemon, and I add lemon to the water. Very good. Very good choices. What is 100% juices? And you know that if we see that a lot. Let's see what is 100%. Okay, if you look at the label, look at how pretty it is, look at the faces, look at how much fruits are in there. And if we don't have time to look at the label, what we're going to be doing, we're going to grab this because it said fruit juice. Okay, and it have all those fruits. But let's see. Very good, very high in high fructose, and it's based on the label. Okay, then we have to look at the label, and if you see that pouch have 11 grams of sugar, and what it's going to tell us, and even say made with natural fruit juices, if we said the word uh, fruit juice. And then if you look at the bottom, it said natural artificial. It's have the word natural and next to artificial. That means that they add sugar, like somebody said in there, high fruit choice. And then if you look at the label, depending the order of the ingredients, is going to tell you how much fruit is in there. And if you look it on the top, it said that from all those beautiful fruits that are in there, it's only 5% of the fruit. The other is sugar and nothing that is going to give us the nutrient that we need. Okay. How much juice we should have. Okay. And I don't know how many of you have been looking at the school when the kids go to school. That's give us an idea. It said infant from 6 months or older, less than 4 ounces a day. 100%. No high C, no 10. It's just 100%. The one that people receive at the weekend, they say, no, my children don't like that. They like 10. No, those are 100%. Children 1 to 6 years old, 4 to 6 ounces, 7 to 18, 8 to 12 ounces a day. And adult, look at what they said about us. Choose whole fruit, fresh, frozen, canned, or dry. Because remember, the older that we get, we're not burning those calories that we went the way that we used to be like younger. That means that yes, we can have the juice, but keep in mind that they recommend more the fresh fruit, such as fresh, frozen, canned, or dry. What will be one change that you will do based on the information that I share with you? Remember, I'm not saying you have to change, you have to do it this way. What will be better for your family, and you apply that slowly, okay? One thing that I'm going to do in a few minutes is I'm going to show you how to prepare fresh water. Yeah, drink even more water, but just always maintain within the amount that they recommend to you per day. Because too much of something, even though that it could be good to us, it could be doing some damage to our body. That's why we need to drink those 8 glasses of water within certain amount recommended. Okay, not in let's say in half a day, let me drink this amount. No, half a balance in the amount. Okay, Marcia. Oh, thank you. Any questions? And limit, yes, you have to limit yourself of one serving per day, one serving per day of juices, and the juices, the smoothie, anything to 8 ounces. Sometimes people say, oh, I did one with vegetables and I put fruit and I feel good. Yes, you're going to feel good at that time, but then your body's going to use what your body needs, and whatever else is going to go to places that we don't want to go. We are not talking about being overweight. We are talking about that too much sugar is going to increase your cholesterol level, and we don't want that to happen. It's gonna become fat in our body. We don't want that to happen. That's why it's only 8 ounces. I'm mentioning how much milk we need to have per day, and the juices would be only 8 ounces per day, and that would be it. Okay, even though that it tastes good. Okay.
Martina, you had a question about Diet Coke in the chat.
Okay, what is the question, please? I
They
didn't.
were, is Diet Coke good for someone who is diabetic?
Okay, the first thing that I want gonna say to you, that many people that are diabetic drink Diet Coke. One thing, the first thing is just consult your doctor always when you make any decision like that. Why I'm saying that? Because I cannot drink Diet Coke. I cannot drink any type of diet pop, because when I drink it, my body react to that artificial sugar and I get headache. I'm talking about me. And I pay attention to my body. I pay attention to the signals that my body send. And what it could be good for one person cannot apply to the other person. Can you drink it? Yes, but consult your doctor before you make any decision. Okay? Because of that I'm giving you. My body, I pay attention to my body, and I know when I'm drinking something, oops, okay, what I ate that my body is reacting like that. But if your doctor said it's okay, or you can use this type of sugar or things like that, then go ahead. Or sometimes, like people use, what is the, it's not Activia.
You talking about the fake sugars that equal?
No, no, no. The other one that is liquid.
Oh, this the agave? Are
I
you?
got it. Thank you, Marcia. Some people use that, even people with diabetes, that have diabetes, that say, oh, this is natural. No, that's sugar. And if you have that, it's going to increase your amount of sugar. Your sugar levels is going to, whoops, it's going to go high. Pay attention, not because we call them natural,
Mhm.
or it is not the regular sugar, even coconut sugar. You have to still be careful. Go with a dietitian, follow the guidelines of your doctor, the guidelines of your dietitian, because it's a reason. Not everybody is the same, and it depends on our age too.
It's also this Marcia. The reason that your doctor may say a diet coke or something, an artificial sugar is okay because they won't affect your glucose levels.
Yes.
But as a person who has diabetes, you have to watch out for things that will affect your glucose level. So just because it's a sugar, it can also be a bread because it's white bread that can affect your glucose levels. So speak with your doctor and find out what things you can have in your diet that won't harm your glucose level and will shoot your sugar sky high or make it drop low.
You're gonna hear some people that said, "Oh, I went to the doctor, and the doctor said tortillas are bad." No, neither the bread, neither tortillas are bad. Is that the person that had diabetes, like Marcia said, have to be paying attention to the type of food that they eat, type of carbohydrates that they eat, for grain, from vegetables, from fruits, and so forth. You can eat everything. You can eat any type of food within the guidelines that the doctor and the dietitians recommend to you. Okay, I hope that the person that asked the question, Marcia, and I add some more information too, because I don't want you to concentrate only in the diet, but in other type of food that we eat too.
Did that answer your question or were there other questions that you have? I guess an answer, Martina. You can go
Okay,
ahead.
thank you very much for all the questions. Now I'm going to show you how to prepare a healthy low calorie water. Okay, I'm working from home. You have to bear with me. I'm going to be moving the camera along around, okay, to make it to what I want to do. Okay. Uh, okay, just give me 1 second, everybody. Uh, Let me remove the background. Uh, Change like okay. Mm, uh, mm, I cannot find what I'm trying to do because I'm my monitor. Okay, okay. Let me see. Uh, well, I have a container of water in here. Uh, Let me try to find the where I could go to the background.
We can see it. It's clear now.
That's
Okay,
a lot better.
Yeah,
okay.
it's
You
clear.
have to because my monitor is not working, and I'm using a different monitor.
That's okay because I think once you start adding the fruit in, it may become clearer.
Okay, thank you. Just bear with me. Okay. Uh, okay, in here I have cold water. Okay, and remember, this is a way of you saving money. You can use frozen fruit, you can use fresh fruit. In this case, if you don't have fresh fruit at home or frozen, you can use canned fruit. In this case, I'm using pineapple, canned pineapple. Okay, there were whole slices. Okay, and what I did, I cut it in small pieces. I'm adding it. I'm trying. Okay. Okay. And it's gonna go to the bottom because I'm just adding it. But put it in the refrigerator, and after 2 hours, this is called infusion water. What it means is that the water is gonna go through the fruit and is gonna be soaking that the fruit is gonna be soaking that water, and they're gonna bring the flavor to the container. Okay, and then after 2 hours, this is very cold, and they can drink this, and it's going to have the flavor of the pineapple. That's a way that you cut in the amount of sugar in there. You having the natural sucrose from the fruit. I'm not going to be adding, and you're going to have that just that flavor. Like somebody said, the flavor of the cucumber. Another said the flavor of the lemon. This is another way that you can do it too. I'm trying. I would like this to see good. Uh, any questions?
Also, for those people who like acid or those people who like pop, you can use
Yes,
a
you can add
sparkling
ginger.
water. You can use a sparkling water that will give you the acid that you like with no added sugar, and like a fresh ginger root. Cut it, put it in your water. Also a lime, and that'll give you all the. If you want, like people use, a lot of people say I use a pop to burp. Well, you can use the sparkling water to do the same thing, and the ginger root will also give you flavor along with the lime and any other fruits or vegetables even that you would like.
And remember, when you use certain ones, such as ginger, don't put too much because ginger is a very strong, and too much of it can be harmful to you. Just use it for flavor, very small amount because it's a very strong. And then you can combine it with other fruit. And like Marcia said, I like to drink sparkling water, and that's what I do. I add the fruit in there when I'm ready to drink it, because I like that bubbly part. And many times when we drink pop, is drinking it because of the bubbly part, not only because of the flavor, but because of the bubbly part. And that's another way that you can do. But with sparkling water, you cannot open it and put the fruit and put it in the refrigerator. You're gonna do that when almost at the time that you're gonna be drinking it, because it's you leave it and set it in the refrigerator, it's gonna become flat, and you don't want that to happen.
So if you do want it to maintain its fizzy, you can put the sparkling water in an ice tray and you can freeze the sparkling water and it'll become ice cubes, and you can put that in your cup with your fruit. And you can even put the fruit in your, like if you cut up some fruit, you can put that in your ice tray with the sparkling water and it'll make it look pretty, but it's also flavorful.
And if you have a blender, you can put those ice cube, shredded them real fine, and that's like you are eating ice cream. Not ice cream, how you slushy. Like a slushy. Yes, like a slushy. Can you imagine how many things you can do with all those things? And this is only a simple ideas that we're giving you. You can create your own ideas from there, such as the one that said cucumber, such as the one that said lemon. And just be careful with the ginger and other. And you can even add cinnamon stick,
Mhm.
vanilla stick to your drink, and you can do it with apples. I mean, any type of fruit or any type of vegetables to your taste. To your taste. I know that probably at the beginning is going to be a little bit funny, because when you're not used to something, it's going to say, but it takes time to acquire that flavor. But remember, the idea is to cut the amount of sugar that we put in our body. No sugar from the pop, but like Marcia and I mentioned it, from carbohydrates too, because we don't want that to happen. Okay, and always consult your doctor and your dietitians to follow any guidelines. This is only basic information that we're sharing with all of you, but because our body is different from each one of us, then you have to follow with your doctor regarding something in a specific. Any question, any comments, anything that you would like to share?
Miss Anita, were you trying to say something?
You okay, Miss Caballero? No question?
I guess she's okay.
Okay.
Were there any other questions that anybody had for us or any comments that you all wanted to make?
I do. I just think adding the different fruits or fruits to the water, it helps for those people,
Yes.
especially those that have a that are distant water drinkers.
Mm.
For me, I love water. Um but there are some times when I drink so much water, sometimes I'm like, man, I don't want to drink no more plain water. So I go and I've had the experimenting of the water, but I also go in the store and it's just a conscious decision I have to make to stay away from the sugar.
Yes.
I won't go into those aisles in the stores, but when I go
Yes.
and I go to the fresh fruit, um, like in Mariano's, they have the water already infused to even make it even better. So I did get a chance to try some. I've had cucumber, but I haven't had the mint and cucumber. And I was like, wow, this is really refreshing. So it was
It
just,
is.
and I was satisfied. So
Mm.
it's just another way to try, to get the stuff that's better in us, that'll help us, have a better chance, just healthy, overall,
Mhm.
just being healthy. Because I think everything that you showed today, for me, was some things that I knew, but it also just, I'm a visual person. So being able to
Yes.
see the spoonfuls of that sugar really helps. I think it helps people because a lot of times it's out of sight, out of mind. So
Mhm.
when you're thirsty, you just drink what tastes good and what feels good. But the truth is, it's really not as good for us
Yes.
on a every day or several times a day. So I think seeing that them spoonfuls kind of just makes you really have a different perspective of, wow, maybe this is not as good and I should maybe drink half a cup or 1 cup.
Yes.
It's just yeah, it makes you really just really see what you're putting into yourself. So I appreciate today's presentation.
That's why I always tell the participants, if you cannot see how much sugar or you cannot taste how sweet it is, open a can of pop, let it
Mhm.
set to the side, let all that bubbly part goes and try to drink it. And they go, oh my God, this is syrup in here. And then they realize, because really we many of us drink the pop because of the bubbly part.
Mhm.
I love what I drink is a sparkling water right now. That's something that I do. I put it in the freezer, it's very cold, and I add the pineapple or the fruit that I want to do, and I have the flavor right there. Because remember, the older that we get, the harder to burn all those calories from sugar, all those calories from carbohydrates. And even though that the lesson was mostly about drink, carbohydrates is something that affect us too, and we need to reduce the amount. And if you saw at one slide that what they recommend for the adult, they said that we can drink juice. They don't even mention it, the juice. They mention it only the fresh fruit for adults. In other way, our body is not going to digest those fruit, I mean those juices, the same way that when we were younger. And again, on because of the high fructose, we just recommend only 1 8 ounces per day. And even if I dilute that juice and I put water in there, let's say if at the beginning it was 8 teaspoons of sugar at the beginning, and I add water to that, it's still 8 teaspoons of sugar. The thing is that it's not going to feel that sweet. That's the only difference. It's not going to be that sweet. But now this is something that we are talking more now about. And if you go to the store, you're going to find a lot of aisles where they are selling the infused water, and then instead of paying for that, you can do it yourself. And now everybody have an idea on how to do it, even using the ginger, using the lemon, using the cucumber, pineapple. If you don't have fresh, you can use canned. Just drain it as long that it don't that is said packed in their own juice. You can use the canned fruit as long that it said that it's packed in their own juice. That means that is less sugar in there. But if it say syrup, high fructose, even though, put it to the side because it's going to be too much sugar in there and we don't want it. Let's go to other alternative. And
Also, if you want to find out the breakdown of the sugar in any of your favorite drinks, you're going to look at the number. So if it says 20, you're going to divide that by 4. And that is going to give you the teaspoons of sugar that are in your drinks. But it's not only your drinks, it's your cakes, it's your cookies. It's going to give you the teaspoon. That's the breakdown. Whatever the number is, divided by 4, whatever you are left with, that's the teaspoons of sugar that's in the whatever you're eating.
another way, 4 grams of sugar is equal to 1 teaspoon.
Mhm.
4 grams of sugar in whatever type of food you're eating is equal to 1 teaspoon. That's how you're going to do the math. And then you're going to find out how many teaspoons of sugar are in the food.
And we always have our phones, so you got it's easy. Just go in the store, like I want this. Then you go to your calculator, or oh, that's that much sugar. I promise you, it's gonna change your mind about a lot of the things that you eat and drink.
And make sure to eat before you go to the store, because then the temptation will be less when you go and do that math. But if you go hungry, you're gonna say, well, it doesn't matter today, I want it. But if you go with a full stomach, it will matter to you when you're doing that math. Yes, and everybody, many of us have a telephone, is division that you do, and it's very quick to do. Am I saying be frustrated? This is not about you getting frustrated. This is about educating ourselves, and the magic word would be have a balance. If I want to eat a cake today, and depending, as long that I don't have no other type of illness, I can have my cake. But that with that cake means I cannot have no other type of carbohydrates that have high sugar, because that's how it works. And if I drink that 32 ounces of pop today, That means that the rest of the stuff is like, whoops, no, 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 no. You see? Then if you have a balance, you can enjoy everything that you do every day.
Were there any questions that you all had?
When you see those drink, enjoy the drink, balance the drink, and remember that we are the example to our family. It's not that I do and you don't do. No, we have to do it together, because if we want our children to learn to drink more water, we have to be the example. And the tendency is that we're going to be drinking more water during the summer because it's hot, we are sweaty, less water during the winter, but we still have to maintain the same amount of water summer, winter, fall, spring. We have to maintain it, okay? If you don't have any other questions, I want to say thank you to Marcia, to Sandra, to Diane, to Chantal, and to all the parents involved in the class today. Anita, Elaine, I cannot see everybody's participant. If I'm missing any name, please add it too. And I want to say thank you to all of you for taking the time in being in this class and share with me all that knowledge that all of you have. Just take one day at a time. Make sure that the water is very cold and enjoy that new way of drinking water starting today.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Have a good day. Okay,
Thank you
Diane.
all for joining us. And I truly have enjoyed you, Miss Curry. And Marcia, those in the background that's helping you. We really appreciate you all. Happy Friday.
Yes.
And enjoy your weekend. And until we meet again, thank you all for joining us.
Thank you to all of you. Enjoy your weekend.